Hey friends, before we start the video, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button. And while you're at it, hit that like button as well. Thanks. What's up everybody? Welcome back to Scrap Trawlers, where we battle budget-friendly EDH decks around randomly chosen themes. I am your host, Andy Zupke. With me tonight, you can actually see him tonight. Look, isn't he lovely?
Hello.
There he is, Nick Martin. Say hello, Nick.
Hello everybody. How's it going?
So tonight we're doing something a little bit different. We are not playing EDH tonight. Nick, why don't you tell everybody what we're doing?
We're going to complain about the most recent cards from Commander Legends. No, that'll be a different one. What we're doing tonight is we are going on a treasure hunt. So we are going to look through the set Mercadian Masques, looking at all the budget rares to see if anything could use a little more love in the format.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I hope we find some cool stuff. We'll probably find a little bit of not so cool stuff. But you know, they're junk rares. They're not all gonna be good. All right. So what we've done here is we're looking at Card Kingdom, and we're looking at just the rares sorted by price. And we're basically just we're looking at the cheap rares. So we're just gonna start around $3. And a $3 rare in Card Kingdom you can get for probably like $1.50 on TCG, so figure that's a good enough budget rare for people like us who want to build like $50 decks. So that's what we're going to be looking at. We're going to start with Power Matrix. This is an artifact for 4 mana. Tap it. Target creature gets +1/+1, gains flying, first strike, and trample until end of turn. Nick, what do you think about this one?
So this is this really needs to go in pretty much any of the Odric 2.0 decks.
Oh,
Gives you the 3 keywords and a little boost, so that's kind of nice. I'd probably also use it in maybe non-green Voltron decks, unless you're getting like a Lockset on Warhammer. Trample and any other like evasion is pretty hard to come by, so you know, for doing it once whenever you're attacking, it's fine. It's on the cheap, so I like it. What do you think?
I think it's good. I mean, 4 mana for an artifact is it's a lot, but you don't have to pay anything to tap it, so that's good. I just want to take a look and see like, well, how many decks this is in. Okay, so this is in 297 decks, right? And that's not very many. Out of
No.
0%. So top commander Saskia.
Odric's not even the top commander. Wow.
There's Odric.
It's in 5 decks. Yeah,
It's
that needs to change
5?
a little bit.
Wow. That would be great in Odric. Horabi Death's Wail. Oh, I guess I see that, because you can just target any creature and kill it.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, for 4, and it's repeatable once a turn, so yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah. I don't know. I actually like this for my Traxos deck. It's pretty decent. You know, especially if I get something out that makes artifacts cheaper, like Ugin the Uneffable would make this only cost 2, and that would be like a bomb at 2 mana, I think.
Where else this would be good in? The Virtus and Gorm deck, specifically for Virtus, just having inherent Death Touch, getting the boost first strike so it can kill whatever it's blocking it, plus the trample, which means its damage trigger is going to go through with the Death Touch. It sounds really nice.
Virtus the Veiled. Yeah.
So all you need is that 1 point of damage, and
yeah.
you're half their life.
Yeah, flying, trample. Give him, yeah. No, you're right. I dig it. That's pretty good. All right. Well, we like this one, right?
I do. I like this one.
All right. Okay. Let's move on. Okay, Thieves Auction. So now this one kind of has a reputation. But why don't you go ahead and read it for us?
So, Thieves Auction, 4 triple red sorcery. Exile all non-token permanents. Starting with you, each player chooses one of the exiled cards and puts it on the battlefield tapped under their control. Repeat this process until all those cards have been chosen. So it's been eroded to non-token, right? It's still kind of annoying. I actually kind of like the non-token clause here. It's still an annoying card, but if you're a token heavy deck that's in red, like, okay, maybe not Perforos. Okay, never mind. I don't like this card. What do you think?
I've never been a big fan of chaos decks, which I think is what really runs this. So I think that's kind of what I was getting at, that it has a reputation for really only being run in chaos decks. And with chaos is like you either love it or hate it, And I don't think it's really. It's 7 mana, triple red.
It's a lot.
It's
so
hefty.
let's talk about this. So what decks is it going to be played in, right? 2 off the top of my head. One is Zedru, because if you resolve Zedru after this, you're probably getting a ton of triggers on that upkeep.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is that newly spoiled guy from Commander Legends, the reverse Zedru for Rakdos. You can. This is probably, if you can resolve this that commander after Thieves Auction, you're probably just gonna win the game at that point if they don't kill you with the stuff they stole.
Okay, so not breaches. Where are we looking? Blim. I think it was Blim, right? Wasn't that the name of it?
Yeah, Blim.
Where is Blim?
Comedic Genius or something like that.
Yeah. Where is that? Did I skip it, or does Scryfall not have it on here?
I don't know. It's only revealed today. Maybe it's too new.
Look at this picture of somebody's face on it.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, I think we talked enough about that one. Should we move on?
Yeah. I don't like this card.
Yeah, me neither. Okay. Rishadan Brigand. It looks like a bird, but it's actually a pirate. It's a 3/2 flying pirate for 4 and a blue. Ugh, not very good stats so far. When it comes into play, each opponent sacrifices a permanent unless he or she pays 3. May block only creatures with flying. This card sucks.
So anybody who's played against a Brago deck knows all of the Rishadan cards are kind of busted. So if you want to play stacks on the cheap, this is an okay option.
Hey, we got a couple people in chat. We got Draco. Hey, Draco. And,
hey, Draco. Thanks for showing up.
Erin coming to spend time with her babe.
Not gonna comment on
babes.
Just kidding. Hi, Erin.
Okay, so yeah, I guess I can see the Brigand. That would be good in Brago. Yarok, maybe.
It only hits opponents, so yeah, that's not bad. I don't hate it.
I kind of hate it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, like, for what it does, it's not great. If you're looking for a blue bad fleshbag marauder,
mm-hmm.
I mean, it's there, I guess.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. Like, pretty much just in like a really busted Brago deck, this is good. But other than that, 5 mana for this is kind of.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, let's read the next one.
All right, I get all the good cards except for Thieves Auction. So we have. Oh no, we didn't talk about how we're going to pronounce things. All right, let's do it. We have Reverent Mantra. 3
right.
and a white. For an instant, you may exile a white card from your hand rather than pay its mana cost. All creatures gain protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. So, a couple things here, right?
Yeah.
Free stuff is always good in Commander, even at the cost of additional cards. I mean, Force of Will is still a very good card. So this, at first glance, looks pretty okay, right? It saves your board from Blasphemous Act. It also saves everybody else's board from Blasphemous Act. So that's really the only downside here, is that it hits, everyone's creatures.
Like, if it was all creatures you control, this would probably be close to like a staple in white.
Yeah.
But all creatures gain protection. I'm trying to think of a situation which that would be good to give all creatures protection.
I guess if you're playing a white deck and you're trying to block an Alpha Strike from green, that's maybe not Cardiff of Behemoth for whatever reason. If you name green, all of your damage gets through, and theirs doesn't, as long as you have nothing that's green. So that's not bad. at least on that aspect. Otherwise, I still think it's an okay card, kind of limited, but.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Aaron had this in Oketra.
All right, I can see that.
Past tense, like you got rid of it, or you got rid of Oketra? Did you take Oketra apart?
Oh no, Ketra's still very much alive and very annoying.
It just got cut?
Yeah, better things.
Okay. Move on?
Yeah, let's do it.
Alright. Next up is Vernal Equinox. So 3 and a green for an enchantment. Any player may play creature and enchantment spells anytime he or she could play an instant. So it's a world enchantment. All creatures and enchantments get flash. I mean,
that's actually a world enchantment.
What?
Is this actually a world enchantment?
No, it doesn't say world
enchantment.
No, okay.
Because that'd be interesting. So yeah, what do you think?
I mean, if you're able to take advantage of this more than your opponents, it's great. But it seems like, I don't know, seems like it might benefit other players a little bit too much.
I think it might be okay in elf all decks if you're not already running Yeva as your commander. Like, you're probably going to get more benefit out of it than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you really wanted to be cheesy, you could play a bunch of elves and have your last one be like Reclamation Sage and blow it up, so nobody else gets to use it.
Yeah.
Kind of a waste of a Rec Sage, but it'd be funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it could be good in Tuvasa or any Voltron Enchantress deck, really. But again, you gotta worry about the other players and what they're doing. But I mean, if you're able to just keep pumping out enchantment spells, especially in Tuvasa, where you get that draw trigger for the first enchantment you play on every turn, so being able to play one on every turn is definitely beneficial. So yeah, good point, Draco. This could be pretty good in Tuvasa.
Yeah, I like it. I think you could do worse for 230.
Yep. I mean, it's not Videlcan Orrery, right? Where you just
but it's got that Rebecca Gay art, so I think that bumps it up a little bit more for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and it's got so Leyline of Anticipation is 2 and 2 blue, so if you're not playing in blue, this would be a reasonable way to go there. But playing Tuvasa, then you're going to be playing in blue.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So maybe it's like a backup, like a budget backup for Leyline of Anticipation, which is usually like over $5.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the riskier group hug-ish cards, like not in the same vein, but Rites of Flourishing. Just letting your opponents do extra stuff. Sometimes it really helps, like especially if you need removal and one of your opponents is running like, if they have like, let's say a Fleshback Marauder again, or Ravenous Chupacabra, now they can flash it in and get rid of the thing that might hurt you. So you can pull some political strings on that, I think.
Yeah, I dig it. That's a cool card. All right, let's move on to your first Spell Shaper.
Yes,
Dawnstrider.
Love the Spell Shapers. All right, so Dawnstrider, 1 and a green for a creature Spell Shaper. Green and tap, discard a card from your hand. Fog, which is awesome. So Spell Shapers are sweet, right? I don't know what set they started in, but if you're any sort of graveyard-based deck has a ton of recursion, I don't know, like Muldrotha, this is a solid include. Some jerk.
Never heard of that commander.
Yeah, so you could run this, I would say, in addition to Spore Frog if you're already doing that plan. Also in Marin, right? You can do the Spore Frog thing. But this lets you pitch other cards to the graveyard that you might want to reanimate. Like if you don't have your enchantment for the turn with Muldrotha, discard an enchantment, while you're getting hit, and then you can play it from the graveyard next turn. So as long as you can minimize the downside, Spell Shapers are freaking great.
Yeah.
And I also really like the onboard fogs. So fogs are good because you never see them coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, like Spore Frog, right? If you see the Spore Frog, you're not going to attack that player. So
Right.
that also might deter attackers elsewhere. So I think it's pretty cool.
Okay.
What do you think?
I was trying to think, is there any commander in green that likes specifically to discard? Like, obviously we know there's commanders in green, plenty of commanders in green that like to have stuff in the graveyard. But are there any commanders in green that specifically say, some sort of benefit when you discard? I couldn't think of any.
There's another spell shaper, mono green. It's Jalira, the first one. She doesn't care necessarily about discarding, but she does it. So I can't think of anything unless you're running like a Library of Lang thing.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. All right. It's a good card.
Oh yeah, I like it.
All right.
And this one's definitely for you. Any of those Ramos cards.
Yeah. So I think so. This is a whole cycle. There's 5 of them, one for each color. So I think we'll probably just discuss them in full right now and just skip over the rest of them.
Sure.
All right. So I'll read this one. So this is Heart of Ramos. And it's an artifact for 3. Tap it, add 1 red mana to your mana pool, and then sacrifice it, add 1 red mana to your mana pool. So I've been trying to think about this one, like where are these Ramos cards good? Because I think they've pretty much been kind of overshadowed by Commander Sphere for the most part, which does tap the for mana and then you can sacrifice it to draw a card, which is strictly better, I think. But being able to get that extra mana in there, it's not bad. And it could be good in like sacrifice heavy stuff. Like what I was really thinking about for these Ramos cards is Korvold. If you were doing like a Korvold artifact sacrifice type of deck, these could actually be really good. I mean, I still don't think they replace Commander Sphere, but if you want like a redundant effect, so just reading Korvold here, so it's whenever you sacrifice a permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on Korvold and draw a card. So if you're running these, you get, in this case, 2 red mana, draw a card, +1/+1 counter if you sacrifice it. That seems pretty good.
You know what? That's not bad because you're kind of only down 1 mana after the whole thing. Yeah. So you're pretty much paying 1 mana, pumping Korvold, drawing a card.
Yeah.
That seems pretty good. I like it.
Yeah, and if you're doing like a whole artifact theme, again, you could do stuff that makes artifacts cheaper to the point where this costs like 1 mana and you get 2 mana and draw a card if you're doing something like that. Oh, I mean,
I feel like
go ahead.
This does what you want Coalition Relic to do, but all the time. You know what I'm saying? Where like you want Coalition Relic, sometimes you want to pop it for 2, right? This lets you do it once, but it's always when you want it to be done. It also has the added benefit of not needing that counter. So let's say on your turn you really need that red mana, but you have like a bolt in hand, and later on, like you need an instant speed like red mana to use that bolt. This lets you do it. So I will agree that it's probably fallen out of favor because of stuff like Commander Sphere, but I don't hate them and I wouldn't immediately dismiss them.
Yeah. I was also thinking of Glissa. Glissa might like these too.
Okay.
Recursion. Glissa the Traitor. So whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, you may return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. So, I don't know, Glissa might like to run the black and the green Ramos cards.
Maybe. Can see that.
Maybe.
Oddly enough, these do nothing for Ramos. So it's kind of a fail there.
Ramos the Dragon Engine card?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they were thinking of that when they made that card.
I don't think his heart is in it.
All right, we're gonna cut the stream right there because it's not gonna get any better. No, just kidding. All right, let's move on. Okay. Go ahead, Nick.
All right. So we got Tectonic Break. I've actually played this card before. X double red sorcery. Each player sacrifices X lands. So, mass land destruction, right? It's kind of frowned upon, not great. Where I did use this, though, was in... Oh, what's it called? Minotaur zombie dude. I can't remember his name. Do you know what I'm talking about from Amonkhet?
Neheb?
Yeah, Neheb the Eternal.
Okay.
So once you're done making all of your mana, like if you blow up everybody's lands and you have a free swing, you're pretty much going to run away with the game, which is, in my opinion, where you should use mass land destruction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At least in those types of instances, not necessarily always for Neheb the Eternal. But other than that, I don't know. What do you think?
I'm not a huge fan of land destruction. So what it kind of reminds me of a card I was actually just looking at and kind of considering for my new Damia deck, which is Death Cloud, which does that and a whole lot more. So Death Cloud is X, black, black, black. Each player loses X life, discards X cards, sacrifices X creatures, then sacrifices X lands.
You don't like land destruction, but you're doing it anyway. I see you.
So I'm actually considering this for my Damia deck because have you seen me play my Damia deck?
I have. It is disgusting.
So like with Damia, like I drop like tons of land on the battlefield. Like there's no chance I don't have more lands than everybody else. So running Death Cloud would pretty much be an instant win for me.
Right.
And just screw everybody else. That's why I was kind of thinking about it, but no, I'm a thumbs down on Tectonic Break.
Same.
All right. Okay, so next we have Collective Unconscious. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this one has been reprinted.
It has. In the, so far as I can remember, in the Elf deck, C14, I believe.
Okay, we got 8th edition, Commander 2014, Commander Anthology are all the reprints. So I'm going to take a guess and say that's probably why it's as cheap as it is, because this is a pretty good card. I should read it. Collective Unconscious. 4 green, draw a card for each creature you control. If you got a lot of creatures, you can draw a lot of cards. Seems good.
Yeah, if you don't have access to Shamanic Revelation, or I guess Rich Card's Expertise, but it's kind of different. It's been kind of, I don't want to say, well, I guess Powercraft is the right term, right? There are just other cards that do this for either 1 mana cheaper or it's the same mana cost and does more.
Yeah.
Also, they have a version of this in Selesnya, I believe, that came out in Return to Ravnica. Camaraderie, whatever it's called.
Camaraderie, okay.
Yeah. The word, But as far as budget card draw, it's fantastic. I love it. I still include it in the majority of my green-based token decks.
Okay, so Camaraderie is up on the screen, and yes, that is definitely an upgrade, assuming you're playing white, of course.
Right.
Yeah, because you get the life gain, and creatures get +1/+1 until end of turn. So, yeah, I see what you're saying. It's still a good card, though. I mean, especially like on a budget. Camaraderie is cheap too, only 30 cents. So
it's actually a lot cheaper for being a way better card.
Yeah.
But card draw is good in almost every form, in my opinion, especially on a budget. So get it where you can. I like this card.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, another card I've played. So we got Cowardice. 3 double blue enchantment. Whenever a creature becomes the target of a spell or ability, return that creature to its owner's hand. So if you're running a commander that targets a lot, you can actually use this with the Power Matrix that was in a couple 10 minutes ago. It's good against Voltron decks, so they can't equip or enchant anything. I like it. It's kind of a nombo with if you're also running equipment, but I use this in Blind Seer, so you pay 2 and a blue, which is bounce whatever you want.
Don't talk to me about Blind Seer.
You can also bounce your own stuff if you want. Like, you can bounce your Archaeomancer. You can bounce all your value creatures. What do you think?
No, I mean, it's a build around for sure. But it's good. I mean, again, I think it's been reprinted a couple times, so it's probably kept the price down. Erin says she prefers Tidespout Tyrant.
I always forget about that card until it's too late.
Yeah, I mean, I think those kind of do different things. Tidespout Tyrant is way more to cast, but I think definitely for like redundancy, both would probably be good if that's what you're aiming for. Is bouncing a lot of stuff, but it's a good card. Like you said, it goes well with the power matrix that we just looked at, or any kind of repeatable effect, like pay a blue, do something to some target or something like that. There's a lot of those.
It kind of does what Hirobi does, but as a blue enchantment, and it doesn't make them sacrifice, but it bounces them, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah. I imagine this won't make you popular.
No.
People are gonna see
no.
that
From experience, you play this when you're ready to lock down or win the game, because there's no coming back.
Yeah, if you like drop this like right away on turn 4 or whatever, and like it's just gonna be a lot of people groaning and like, oh, now I can't play, and that kind of stuff. And I guess I'd be careful of that.
Definitely.
It's a strong card.
Still gets a thumbs up.
Yeah. All right. My turn to read.
You can definitely read that one.
I'm gonna try. Delreich.
Lana Del Rey.
Del Taco.
Yeah.
6 and a black for a 6/6 with trample. That's big. You may sacrifice 3 black creatures instead of paying Del Reich's mana cost. Lana Del Rey.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know. What do you think?
This is an Aaron Campbell card. Like, okay, so I wouldn't put it in She-Ray or something like that, but it wouldn't be bad in Corvold. Like, if you want to draw 3 cards and pump it 3 times and get a 6/6 on top of it, that's not bad.
Yeah, the only problem with Corvold is that it's black, green, and red. So you'd have to, I guess if you've been running, like, if you had like Bitter Blossom on the field for a few turns, that's pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. I guess it would have to be more black based, but I would assume that Corvold is probably more black based anyway, just because of what it wants to do.
I guess. But is, as they say, is the juice worth the squeeze?
Only you say that.
No. That's not true. Josh Lee Kwai says that all the time.
That's true.
Is it worth it?
And this Del Rey wants to squeeze some juice. You've seen those arms? Those hands?
Yeah. I can see.
He is in desperate need of some vitamin C.
Squeezing some grapefruits. 6/6 with trample. Yeah, I mean, I think the 6/6 trample part isn't the good part. I guess being able to sacrifice 3 black creatures is probably what you want, why you would want to play this.
Yeah, so Drake was talking about playing this in Sir Conrad. I could definitely see it.
Yeah, that's 3 damage right there.
It would be good to pair up with Grave Pact effects.
Ugh.
I mean, that's pretty good. You get to blow up everybody's creatures and you get a 6/6 for free. That seems, I don't know, I kind of like this card.
You do?
Yeah, I do. I want to know, does it work in Endrick Sar decks, or would Endrick Sar just die from all the thralls?
You kill the thralls so that you can make more thralls.
Yeah, I don't know how Endrick Sar is worded, but I think it might be okay there.
Did I spell that right? Yeah. Whenever you cast a creature spell, put X thralls on
I
battlefield.
would kill it
When you
immediately.
control 7 or more thralls, sacrifice it.
Yeah, it's okay. Maybe not the best there,
No,
but
no, that wouldn't really work.
I do like it, so it gets a thumbs up from me.
Okay. It gets a tepid meh from me. Alright, let's move on. Ooh.
All right, before we do that, Draco, thanks for shouting out in the EDH Rank Discord. Really appreciate it. All right, so Natural Affinity. 2 green for an instant. All lands become 2/2 creatures until end of turn. They still count as lands.
All lands. So this is
All lands.
this makes me think of the mono green Kamal, where you have the threaten effect on the board, like don't board wipe because I'm gonna make all the lands die. Although with Kamal, it's you can target which lands become creatures, right?
With Kamal, you can pay the
You
pay
pay
the
a
1
green
green
for
and
each
turn
one,
any
right?
land you want into it. Yeah, again, referencing another spell shaper, I still think what is it? Not Joyra, Jaleva.
Jolrael?
Somebody, Jorail, J-Dog, might be more akin to that. That's kind of what she does, but for target player, and she makes them 3/3s. But with this, if you're on an empty board, but you have this and a Kratos in hand, you kind of win the game. Because they don't want to block. Because if they block, I mean, they're still alive, but they have no lands. So it's just kind of pointless. Otherwise, I couldn't see myself playing this.
Yeah. I mean, I guess with
any other
Crater
deck.
Hoof, this is kind of just win more, isn't it?
I mean, it's easy to see with Crater Hoof, right? Crater Hoof plus anything that makes creatures or is a creature is fine.
Yeah. Yeah, this is all right.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's uses for it that I'm not thinking of, but I've never been a fan of turning my lands into creatures. That always kind of scares me.
Although if you have more sacrifice fodder, this wouldn't be bad. Does this have a place in Ashaya?
Ashaya. Alright, that's the new one from Zendikar, right?
Yeah, so I know Ashaya makes your creatures into forests. So I guess not if you wanted to also flip your lands into creatures.
Non-token creatures you control are forest lands. So that would make all your creatures 2/2s until end of turn as well.
Oh. Ew. Okay, so that's not that good.
Because if it makes all your creatures into forest lands in addition to their other types, and Natural Affinity says all your lands become 2/2 until end of turn.
That, folks, is a non-mo. Unless everything you have is a 1/1. In that case, it's a combo.
Sure, we'll
play
that deck.
I've got a deck for it.
Yeah, okay.
Sidar Kondo.
Sidar Kondo. Getting reprinted, right?
Yeah. I don't hate it there.
Creatures your opponents control without flying or reach can't block creatures with power 2. Hey! All of your lands become creatures, and they become unblockable until end of turn.
So that's 2 times -3 the number of lands you control. That's not bad. Otherwise, I don't like the card.
Yeah. Alright, next is Skull of Ramos. We can skip that.
Ooh, Andy, this is yours, even though it's technically my card.
Oh, God. Alright, Distorting Lens for 2. Tap it. Target permanent becomes the color of your choice until end of turn. So this is used for color shenanigans, like Mr. Martin's Blind Seer deck.
Yeah, it is excellent there. I can tell you that. Also good with Cowardice.
Yeah.
You can put on your opera glasses and you can't see anything.
Just get rid of a creature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get out.
I don't know. Any other thoughts on this?
No, it's pretty much only good in Blind Seer and I guess possibly 8.5 Tails?
Yeah, that helps. Save a little bit of mana. With 8.5 Tails is activated cost. Because with 8.5 tails, you gotta pay to make something white, and then pay to get something protection from white.
Right.
Right? Yeah. Yep. So it saves you 1 mana. I guess.
It seems good. I don't know. I like it because I use it, but that's pretty much it. Draco's saying this and Grand Architect. Let's see it.
Alright, other blue creatures you can draw plus one.
He's stretching for that one. Tap and untap blue creature you control. That's not bad. I kind of like it. It doesn't do much, but it makes it a little better, so I'm okay with that. I like the suggestion. I appreciate the enthusiasm.
Alright, moving on?
Yeah, let's do it.
I have Ramos. Alright. Let's read about some hair. Tell me about some hair.
Alright, so Saprazan hair, and she's got a lot of it. 1 in a blue for a merfolk. Whenever Sprazan air becomes blocked, you may draw 3 cards. So I can see this being played as a bad card draw spell in Phyrexian Missouri, the blue-green one. Because the creature's going to get so big you're going to have to block anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You can also throw on any sort of lure effect to draw 3 cards. It's not great. What do you think?
Yeah, I've never been a fan of any creature that says whenever this becomes blocked, you draw cards. Especially ones that die if they're blocked by anything except a wall. And even some walls would kill it. So yeah, why this is a rare, I don't know.
Well, here we go. Axel Gear in chat says, is it 3 per blocker or just blocked? That's a good point. Because if it's 3 per creature, you can draw a ton of cards with, like, Nemesis Mask.
I'm reading this as just blocked. So it doesn't matter. Right. It doesn't matter how many creatures block it. It's just blocked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, Spontaneous Generation. 3 and a green for a sorcery. Put a 1/1 green sapling creature token into play for each card in your hand. That's not bad. I guess obviously the more cards you have in hand, the better. If you're doing like big card draw kind of decks, like maybe Xyrus. If you have like a big gigantic hand with, you know, Reliquary Tower out or whatever, get a lot of saplings.
I like this.
And then, you know, Perforos, Impact Tremors. That's about all I got. It's not great.
So let's talk about this art here. First of all, those aren't even saplings. Those are weird, like, tremors worm things.
They look like worms, yeah.
And this farmer like has this
he's hoeing them.
Yeah. So I don't understand how that's generating anything except like hate for this farmer. So
yeah, Colin in chat says Slimefoot, which pretty much any card that gives you a bunch of saplings is good in Slimefoot, right?
Yeah, that's true. So a card I would not combo, but a card I would play with this is Praetor's Council.
Okay.
If you have a pretty big graveyard and you maximize your hand size, or no-max your hand size with, I don't know, 20 cards in hand, this isn't a bad follow-up. You get 19 cards out of it after that, or 19 saplings, so it has its places, and I don't hate the card.
Yeah. No, it's not not great, but not bad either. Yeah, I'm sure Slimefoot runs this. A lot of people with Slimefoot, but other than that, I don't know. You'd have to have like a really, really massive hand for it to be like really, really, really good. And even then, you just have a bunch of 1/1s on the board. Like I said, you'd have to have something like Perforos or Impact Tremors to really make it worth it.
Right.
Or maybe like a Sack Outlet or something. Yeah, it's not good on its own, but it's could possibly be good in some sort of combos. Maybe.
Yeah.
All right, so this one we've seen reprinted quite a few times in core sets.
Yeah, we got Tidal Kraken, 5 triple blue for a creature monster. No, it's been around the Kraken, but the creature type monster is why I love this card. I actually played in a Race with these just for that reason. 6/6 unblockable. It's simple. It's great.
It's better than 6/6 trample.
This is true. It's been kind of it's definitely been power crept out. There's a card. It's the Suspend Kraken, where it's literally the same card, except you can suspend it. Whenever a player casts a spell, you remove a suspend counter from it. Deep Sea Kraken or something like that. But I still like it. It's way too overcosted for what it does, but...
Yeah, I think...
It's got heart.
It's got heart. This would probably be cheaper if printed today.
Oh, yeah.
You think? Maybe
this would be like a 2-mana 6/6 unlockable in 2020.
No. No. It'd probably be like 6 or 7 today.
You're right, it's not a green card.
Okay. Moving on.
You got the more interesting one. What does this do?
It looks like it does... It's got a lot of text. Crooked Scales. It's an artifact for 4. You gotta pay 4 to tap it. Choose target creature you control and target creature an opponent controls. Flip a coin. If you win the flip, destroy the creature the opponent controls. If you lose the flip, destroy the creature you control unless you pay 3 and reflip the coin.
This is awesome.
That's so much text. That is a lot. So, it's fun. It's not good.
No, it's not but it's fun.
It is fun. I might...
There's one deck that this belongs in.
Like Zerda. Make it cheaper to tap it.
I was thinking of the Is It Coin Flippers. That's the only deck I can think of that wants this. Not even the new Krark. Like, Krark doesn't care.
Yeah. So...
You can't even play this card in Krark. It has thumbs.
So if you win the flip, destroy the creature the opponent controls. If you lose the flip, destroy the creature you control. So choose target creature you control. So you get to pick the targets for both. So it's not like you pick the target they control and they pick the target that you control. You pick both targets. So that's something.
Yeah.
You know, you could pick something that you want to die. Something that has a good death effect.
It's definitely, like, if you're trying to, like, make your coin flipping deck interesting for Cinder Split no count, this might be, you know, a consideration. Otherwise, I would probably never play this card.
Yeah. I think like we said in the beginning, not good, but it's fun. It's interesting. All right, I have Remask.
All right, 2 and 2 white for enchantment. You have Shroud. So it has different applications than the white Leyline of Sanctity, because this means you can't also enchant yourself with cards like, I don't know why you would enchant yourself with a curse, but Paradox Haze, where you can give yourself an additional upkeep. It kind of protects you from that too. You can't be hit by certain things that target you. Sir Conrad's not a good example, but let's say Niv Mizzet. You can't be burned out by Niv Mizzet with this out, so that's something. What do you think?
I don't know. It's, if you're like really looking to pillow fort, sure. I don't like, you're gonna have games where this is gonna do nothing,
right?
And because of that, I wouldn't run it. Even in like the occasional game where it'd be really good, like when you said Niv Mizzet Perrin, Niv Mizzet kill you. I'd rather not run this.
Okay, that's fair.
All right. I'm getting all the artifacts. Okay, Magistrate's Scepter. Costs 3. Tap 4, put a charge counter on it. Remove 3 charge counters from Magistrate's Scepter. Take another turn after this one. You have to tap it to do that. So I was actually looking at this one before we did this, and I think this is really good.
Yeah?
Yeah. What do you think?
So let's count it up, right? 3 to cast. You need to activate it 3 times, assuming you're not cheating.
Yeah.
So that's 15 mana, and then you have to tap it for 1 extra turn. It is not efficient at all.
No.
But no, we don't play Magic to play fair, right?
No.
Atraxa, I've seen this in my buddy's Atraxa deck.
Okay, that's actually exactly where I was thinking this should go, is into Atraxa. And yeah, anything proliferate, but Atraxa, this is, I don't know. I think it's fun. There's other ways to put charge counters. There are ways to put charge counters on things.
You have Core Tapper. I consider this for Taunos.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you can kind of get cheeky and double up the second activation to get your 3rd counter for 6 mana, so that you can kind of like cheat it that way, like, oh, got you.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think this is good. I mean, okay, maybe it's not good, but it's fun. It's fun. I think it'd be great in Atraxa.
You know what I just noticed? Look at the top of that scepter. Are those like the crooked scales?
It's got the scales on it.
Yeah, I don't like it.
All right. Ooh, there we go.
Yes, I'm getting all the cool like classic cards. So we got 2-headed dragon, 4 double red for a dragon. It's got flying because it's a dragon. You pay 1 in a red, and it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. It's got double fire breathing because it's a 2-headed dragon. Cool thing, it can block an additional creature because it's got 2 heads. I love this card. It's not good. You should probably play any other dragon in your dragon-based deck, but I love this card. It's just so cool.
I wish I had put this in my budget Zerta deck.
Oh, that'd be really good there.
2/2/0 fire breathing for just 1 mana? That's really good. That's really good.
Yeah, so, okay, let's do this, right? Let's do a little bit of math. Let's say you're in a mono red deck. You pay your full 6 red for this.
Yeah.
If you don't drop a land when it can attack, you give it +6/+0 if you decide to pay fully into it, making it a 10/4. That's not terrible.
No. Yeah, Draco says it's a flavor win for sure, definitely.
Oh yeah. It's one of those cards that I love. I love how it's presented because it's like you know that recent card that came out, the really bad one, Skeleton Archer? Like, what is it? It's a Skeleton Archer. That's all it does. That's what it is. Its creature type is what it is.
Yeah, Colin says Ilharg would like this. Cheat it out with Ilharg and then dump all your mana into it.
That's not bad at all. No. I mean, it's not great, but if you're trying to play it on the cheap, oh yeah. Yeah, this thing is sweet. It's less than $1.
And you know, if you have an opponent that can't block flyers, you're gold.
You know what? You can play this on turn 5 if you're playing the Dragon. So, have at it.
Mm-hmm. No, it's fun. I dig it.
Sweet.
All right. Cave In. 3 red for a sorcerer. You may remove a red card in your hand from the game instead of paying Cave In's mana cost. We get another possible free spell here. Cave In deals 2 damage to each creature and each player. That seems pretty good. What do you think?
I've actually used this in Nahab.
Okay.
If you're really good about trying to keep as many cards in your hand as possible, like playing every single wheel you can. Except for Wheel of Fortune, because it's like $1 million. This is pretty good. You get, what is it? 6. Oh, it includes yourself, too. So you would get 8 mana on your second main phase for free. essentially. So it's kind of like a mini ritual. It also clears the board of tokens, which can be annoying. So I don't absolutely hate it.
So this makes me think of Fire Song and Sunspeaker.
Ooh. Okay.
So if the board is pretty full and you cast this with Fire Song and Sunspeaker out, you're gonna gain quite a bit of life.
Yeah. Just hope no one's playing Reverent Mantra, and you're good to go.
You could play Natural Affinity, turn all lands into 2/2s, and then cast.
This set is nuts.
You could have drafted that back in the day.
You got Cowardice with the opera glasses. Yeah, this set looks really fun to draft.
Okay, ready to move on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's clear the land here. Oh look, clear the land. 2 and a green for a sorcery.
You saw it coming.
Each player reveals the top 5 of their library, puts all land cards revealed this way onto the battlefield tapped, and exiles the rest. So obviously in any landfall deck you want as many lands as possible, right?
Yeah.
If you're playing more than 40 or more lands, which you should be if you're playing landfall, this isn't terrible. You can actually combo this card with Scouting Trek or something like that, where you can search your library for any number of lands, or any number of basic lands, shuffle your library, put them all on top. So you can just search for 5, cast this, and just ramp 5.
Yeah, Lenny's here. Hey, Lenny.
Hey, Lenny. What do you think?
I don't think it's great. I'm thinking of like Scheming Symmetry. You play Scheming Symmetry and say, hey, I'm going to be a nice guy, let you go get whatever card you want, put it on top of your library. And then cast Clear the Land, and that card they wanted gets exiled.
Something. Can you play MDFCs with this?
No.
They are technically lands.
Are they? I have not looked at the rulings on MDFCs at all, so I don't know.
Let's see what chat says. Chat, what do you think? I guess we'll find out.
Chat, would you be able to play MDFCs off of this card, or would they get exiled?
No, humor me, Andy. I want you to check how many decks on EDH Rec actually play this card.
Okay.
Because it was way more than I thought.
Let's look at Clear the Land. Come on, buddy. Come on, EDH Rec. There we go.
Yeah, Corvold.
Why did it just pull up Corvold?
I don't know.
Come on. EDH Rec,
what are you doing to me? This land. Cleanfall.
Clear the land. Come on. Come on. There we go. 146 decks.
Yeah, way more than I thought.
Surprisingly, only one landfall commander.
All right. So Colin is saying he does not think they are lands until you flip them. Yeah, I'm not sure. Not on that, but I'm not sure just because I know you can play the land side with Crucible Worlds, which is why that spiked again.
Okay.
So, but I don't know because it's in a different zone. I don't know if the exile zone or the reveal zone counts. I really don't know. So, something to consider. It's fine.
Yeah.
If you're really hurting for like making your landfall triggers, this is something.
Yeah, I think there's just better cards than this. Okay. It's my turn. Go, right?
Yep.
Okay. Honor the Fallen. 1 and a white for an instant. Remove all creature cards and all graveyards from the game. You gain 1 life for each card removed this way.
It's good. Yeah. I really like this card.
Yeah. I can't think of a ton of ways of like getting a lot of creatures into the graveyard in white. Maybe if you're running like some sort of Esper deck that has mill. Or if you're just running a lot of board wipes. Hey, Chris. I'm not sure.
I would just play this. Like, if you're in mono white and you don't want to be that jerk that plays Rest in Peace, this is good. It's instant speed, so you can, like, if you really don't want that Living Death to go off, you just do that, gain some life along the way. Anytime you're playing a commander where you want to gain life, like Uncle Carl, because I can't think of the name, Karlov, it's really good. So yeah, I really like this card, especially for how cheap it is. It's less than $1.
Yeah. I mean, it's I guess my only problem with it is that it's a do nothing for most of the game. It's not going to be good until like late game.
That's true.
Aaron hates it, so maybe I will run it.
Yeah, that's exactly why you should run it. You're not running enough Graveyard Hate. If you're listening to this and it's like 2030 and YouTube still exists, or Twitch exists, I don't know, you're still not running enough Graveyard Hate.
Okay.
And if you're running this, you're running it too much. It's Jovial Queen. It's a 4 double white for a creature. It's actually a cat rebel.
Oh, they errata the cat onto it?
They did. It's got vigilance. It's a 4/7. If you're running a Rabo, you don't want to run this card.
This is not a good card.
Do you even want to run it in Rebels? I don't think so.
Who plays Rebels?
Like the as many people that play Blindseer. That's how many.
Okay, moving on. Liability. I like the name of it. This is pretty cool. 1 black. Whenever a non-token permanent is put into a player's graveyard from the battlefield, that player loses 1 life. That's not bad.
It's got kind of like the Conrad thing on it. If you're playing any sort of aristocrat strategy, this is something to consider. Yeah, it hits you too, but oh, maybe you don't want that. Now it's an aristocrats. Okay, maybe that's not the best place to put it. But if one of your opponents is playing an aristocrat strategy and you're not, this is something to consider. And it's really cheap for 3. I kind of like it.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of like where this would be good. Like whenever a card is put into a player's graveyard from play, and it's got to be a non-token permanent.
This also hits enchantments, artifacts.
Yeah, it hits everything except tokens. But like, what could you leverage to be able to get a ton of stuff on the board under your opponent's control and then get it off the board? You know?
I don't know. You know what? This is something you can donate with that news I drew. It's just one of those cards where it doesn't care who has it. It just does its thing.
I suppose.
Yeah, I guess you can't really like abuse it, but it's if I think it's a meta call for this one, right? If you have somebody in your meta that's running a lot of non-token aristocrat strategies,
yeah.
Even for like again artifacts and enchantments, anything like that, this isn't bad.
Yeah, Lenny said one that I was trying to think of, Hypergenesis, which we played that. Zach was playing that one.
Oh, that's right. I remember that game.
His Cascade deck. So the thing is, though, is you got to not only help them get stuff on the board, you got to get all their stuff off the board, too.
Yeah, but if you're in black, you're probably okay with that.
Yeah.
This is a good card with Hirobi.
Yeah. Hirobi. Some weird stuff going on in chat, man.
Colin says, looking back from the MBFC release notes, if an effect allows you to play a specific modal dual-face card, you may cast it as a spell or play it as a land by determining which face you choose to play.
Oh, I was looking at Draco's comment above that. Something about we lick on you.
Oh, you can't play.
And then he corrected that down below. Pick on you. Got it. Yeah, Hypergenesis helps, but that's only like in their hands. I don't know. I can't think of a way to make this card busted. Let's move on.
Yeah, alright, that's fair. Alright, look at this mono white card draw. Mercadian Atlas. 5-mana artifact. At the end of turn, if you're playing mono white, you draw a
That's
card.
not what it says.
This is great.
That is not what it says.
Okay, if you didn't play a land this turn, you draw a card. Look, if you're playing if you're playing on a budget, card draw is good in almost any form. I'm gonna die on that hill.
It's 5
This
mana.
I would definitely play this. I've played that other one that has Echo and costs 6 that you tap it to draw a card. This isn't terrible.
I would just prefer to run Mind's Eye.
Mind's Eye costs like $5.
I know.
If you don't have $5,
If you don't have $5 and you don't feel like playing lands or anything, this is good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, what if you whiff and you clear the land? You get to draw a card. That's not bad. All right, let's go to the next
so
one.
Chris says with K and T, you could not play a land on your turn, but then use K and T's Kinesantiro's ability to play the land, but stack it so that Atlas allows you to draw a card, and then you do K and T's ability of draw a card and then play a land.
That's right, Chris. You know what's going on. Card's great.
But I feel like one of the benefits of playing K and T is that you get to play 2 lands in a turn. So that kind of negates that for 5
But what
mana.
if you don't?
Nick, this card isn't good.
Okay.
This card isn't good.
But the next one is.
Monkey. Well, the name sure as heck is. You can't beat that name.
No.
And look at these. These are probably not monkeys in the cage. They're apes.
What do you think? Okay. Well, you make ape creatures.
See that. Now I'm even more angry. People don't know the difference between monkeys and apes, and it drives me crazy. All right, let's just read the stupid card. Monkey Cage, another artifact for 5. Hopefully this one does something. When a creature comes into play, sacrifice Monkey Cage and put into play a number of 2/2 green ape creature tokens equal to that creature's converted mana cost. This card's awful. It's only good if like you immediately play a huge creature right after it. Because like, what's to stop your opponent from playing like a 1/1 on their on the turn right after it, and then you paid 5 mana for 1 green ape monkey.
So to Colin's point earlier, if you're playing this in Ilharg or New Perforos, or even if you have a sneak attack, this is pretty good. You just get free value out of it, and if you have any way to get your artifacts back, that's good too. Okay, I'm wondering if you can, if you play Sharoom, right, and you cast Sharoom, the enter the battlefield triggers go on the stack, right? Can you return Monkey Cage and also get your apes?
No. So you're asking, so when Sharoom enters the battlefield, you may return target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield. But Sharoom is already on the battlefield. So you're asking if Sharoom would also trigger the Monkey Cage? Is that what you're asking?
Well, Sharoom would trigger the Monkey Cage, but can you stack the triggers so the cage resolves first and then go get it?
Oh, I see. So you trigger the Monkey Cage and then get back the Monkey Cage with the same ETB?
Yeah. Chris, you're a judge. What say you?
I wouldn't think so.
I want to see monkeys in a Sharoom deck. Other than that,
maybe it does.
Unless you're trying to like get cheeky with it.
Na.
Yeah, exactly. All right, tell you what. If your favorite blue removal card is Pongify, you should play this card. If it's not, you probably shouldn't play this card. I don't hate it. I think it's a fun card. It's kind of like the
It costs too much.
It's kind of like the what is it? The Crooked Scales. It's fun.
Yeah.
I own it. It's fun.
So like everybody in chat is talking about this next card that we're about to show here. So
fine. I guess we'll just skip ahead.
I got.
So Pulverize, 4 and double red as a sorcery. You may sacrifice 2 mountains instead of paying its mana cost. Destroy all artifacts. Freeze spells are still good, even at the cost of 2 mountains. I like it. It's also got an elephant on it, so I don't know. What do you think?
This, I don't know why I'm scrolling here. This actually seems like a really good budget replacement for Vandal Blast. Don't you think? Vandal Blast is 5
a deck
mana.
I could see it in is actually Lord Windgrace.
Okay.
I don't think Lord Windgrace is playing many artifacts, with maybe the exception of, off the top of my head, Crucible Worlds. And you don't care if your lands go to the graveyard, because that's what you want anyway. You're going to get them back.
Yeah.
You're triggering Titania with it. You're triggering Gitrog with it. So I could see it being played there. Lord Windgrace is pretty popular.
Yeah, it would kill your Crucible though.
That's true, but I think that's okay. For, like, if you're really hurting to get rid of all your opponent's artifacts at once, you could do worse.
Yeah, I mean, like, how much is Vandal Blast? A few bucks?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's see, Return to Ravnica is $383. So, yeah, like I said, it's a good budget replacement for Vandal Blast. Because it's both sorceries. This only costs 1 more than an overloaded Vandal Blast. You could sacrifice 2 mountains to do it.
All right, and Chris says you can stack the triggers and get back that monkey cage. Bam! It's a good card.
Still doesn't make it. All right, if you want to go build Shroom so you can have your monkey cage, go right ahead.
I can have 2 Shroom decks.
All right, moving on. Who's reading this one?
You are.
Am I? Can't keep track. So many cards. All right, Vine Dryad, 3 and a green. For a 1/3 Dryad, has Forest Walk. You may play it at instant speed. You may remove a green card in your hand from the game instead of paying Vine Dryad's mana cost. Meh. I mean, unless you're playing like pump effects to make it big, but I don't know.
Hear me out. If you're playing a Chorus of the Conclave Dryad Tribal deck, this card's for you. If you're not, don't play this card. Yeah, it doesn't do enough.
No. All right. Another 5 mana artifact.
Let's do it. All right. I don't know what this one does. Crumbling Sanctuary, 5 for an artifact. If damage would be dealt to a player, that player exiles that many cards from the top of their library instead. That's interesting.
That's good. See that?
So if you can't get your kill in your Nekusar deck with damage, you can just mill them out. This is interesting.
And it's exiled. It's not just mill, it's exiled.
Yeah, you're right.
This is good. I mean, obviously there's the drawback in that it's symmetrical. It happens to you too. You know?
That is true. This is interesting. It's also got Squee huddled in the corner, which is, I think, normal.
Oh, is that Squee? Nice.
Yeah.
If you could, like, combo off with this, like, if you got enough mana left over to do some sort of massive amount of damage to somebody, maybe, like, just as a game ender? I don't know.
It also it prevents the damage, so I guess if your opponents are trying to do something where, like, if your opponent is playing Neheb and they need that damage to get the mana, this shuts it off completely. So that's something to consider. I don't hate it. I feel like it has a place. I just can't think of when it's at.
Yeah, it's gotta be. Let's see if there's anything on EDH Rec. Crumbling Sanctuary. Let's see if anybody's playing this. 114 decks. Una, Queen of the Fae.
So if you're really trying to push that exile your opponent's decks plan?
Yeah.
Hey, Traxos, look at that, 6 decks.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. I don't know. Finax. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get around the fact that it does it to you too, but if you have like some way of preventing damage to you, then it could be really good.
Thumbs up on it, I just don't know where I want to put it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. It's very unique. I like it.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Kirin Toy. Look at this art.
Ooh. Yeah.
That's some crazy art. 3 mana artifact. Pay 1 and tap it. Put a charge counter on Kirin Toy. So we got more charge counters. Tap it. Remove X charge counters from Kirin Toy. Add X plus 1 colorless mana to your mana pool.
This is good in Atraxa as like every counter card ever, right?
Yeah. I don't think this is even really that good there.
No,
it's a 4-color deck. You don't want colorless mana.
I mean, if you're playing Atraxa anyway, with its reprinting, I think Everflowing Chalice might actually be cheaper now.
Oh yeah.
I'm probably wrong on that, but
no,
yeah, it's
pretty cheap.
It's okay.
Yeah,
I wouldn't play it.
No. Meh.
All right. Nether Spirit. That's sweet art. 1 double black for a creature spirit. At the beginning of your upkeep, if it's the only creature card in your graveyard, you may return it to the battlefield. So if you're playing this card, I don't know if this is one of those cards that you have to. I don't think it is. Where your graveyard sorting like matters. It doesn't look like it, but I guess if you're struggling to keep your graveyard, let's say somebody's playing, anything that's removing your graveyard hate, like Scavenging Ooze or whatnot, and they don't have enough mana to get this thing away. I don't know, it's bad. What do you think? I can't think of a good way to make this card playable.
I don't know. Aaron says this is a Legacy All-Star, but I don't really know much about Legacy. I just don't see the benefit, because once you get another creature in your graveyard,
Yeah, it just doesn't work.
I guess. Yeah.
If you really need, okay, here we go.
And it's just
if you really need it for your Banana King deck.
Okay.
Or Pelucranos, the second one.
Yeah.
Or for Hogak, or anything that manipulates what is in your graveyard at any given time, it's playable.
Mm-hmm.
I personally wouldn't play it.
No. And then once it's on the battlefield, it does nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For your Spirit Tribal deck.
Yeah. Not even. All right. Caller of the Hunt, 2 and a green. It's a Lord. I'm sure that's errated to Dryad or something.
Dry Tribal.
As an additional cost to cast Caller of the Hunt, choose a creature type. Caller of the Hunt's power and toughness are each equal to the number of creatures of the chosen type on the battlefield. Look at that. It's everything tribal. It's old Morophon. So
Would you play it?
No. Well, I want to see what actual creature type it is.
I think it's a human.
Human, you're right, yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird. The errata text says, as an additional cost to cast it, choose a creature type.
What? Why would that be an additional cost?
I don't know.
Oh, I wonder if it's because it's a star, so if it enters the battlefield, it would immediately die before it does anything.
That's so weird. That's a weird additional cost to pay. I've never seen that.
I think it's just old ruling.
So it's...
Or old templating.
Yeah. I don't know, so I guess its power and toughness is equal to whatever tribe you pick. But beyond that, it doesn't do anything.
It looks like it's got the Westworld maze on that tree there, so that's cool.
Sure.
Where would you play it though, right? If you're looking for more of those old Scourge or Nemesis or Onslaught lords that have power and toughness equal to the number of creatures like goblins or elves of the chosen type, if you're looking for more of that, this is an option. It's actually probably cheaper than the actual tribal type that does it. Otherwise,
Yeah, I mean, because once it's on the board, it doesn't do anything except it's just power and toughness equal to your other, equal to the number of creatures in play of the chosen type.
Like, the ceiling is pretty high. The floor is also very low.
Yeah. It's got, like, no evasion or anything, so...
Yeah.
It could be chump blocked for days, you know? I'm not liking it.
Alright. Forced March. Okay, so we got... X triple black sorcery. Destroy all creatures with CMC X or less. For budget... Well, board wipes in budget terms, right? It's really hard to find ones that are good and cheap.
It is. Yeah, there's like none.
This does
in
both.
Garrick's Wake, but that's not cheap.
Yeah, this does both.
Yeah.
You also have the upside of if you're playing a top end heavy deck, which if anybody's who's ever played in like a budget meta, it's really creature based because board wipes aren't that apparent.
Yeah.
And so the top ends can go a little bit higher, so your creatures are bigger. You can kind of dictate which ones live and which ones die. So I like this. What do you think?
Yeah. No, I think it's great. You got to have a lot of mana available, so you know, running it in like a mono black budget deck, maybe not, just because you're not gonna have a ton of mana to put into it if you want to like kill everything. But if you're running like green and black, you could probably do well with it.
I think so.
Yeah. As far as budget goes, yeah, exactly like you said, board wipes are hard to come by for cheap. So that's good. I like it.
Yeah, I like it. All right, and here's Squeeze Robe. This is all you.
General's Regalia, 3 mana artifact. Man, I'm just trying to picture drafting in this set. Like, every pack you open is going to have, like, some weird artifact that is not going to do anything in...
Imagine rare drafting Mercadian Masques.
In a 1v1 format. It's okay. All right, so this is the repeatable one. You can pay 3. The next time a source of your choice will deal damage to you this turn, that damage is dealt to target creature you control instead. This comboed with Crumbling... What was that called? Crumbling Sanctuary.
Yeah, Robe Tribal. Right?
No, for each 1 damage that will be dealt to a player...
Yeah, but look at the Robe. It's the same one.
They're meant to be played together.
No, stop.
They're supposed to be played together. You have to play Crumbling Sanctuary and General's Regalia because you can prevent the damage to you so that you don't have to exile your library.
Okay. Sure.
So you run this with my new favorite card, Brash Taunter, which I think Lenny just said in the comments. Yeah, it's a decent card.
You're right. It is a uniform fit for a goblin.
That's right.
Okay. It's repeatable, too. You don't have to tap it or anything.
Yeah. You had something to make it cheaper, like Zerda or Training Grounds or Biomancer's Familiar. That's only 1 then.
All right. So if you're going to get alphaed out by Craterhoof and friends, if you have enough mana and some like tokens to... You only need 1, right? Yeah, you only need 1 creature to dictate all the damage to for every instance of 3. Am I reading that right? Like, if you have 1 token, you can just trigger this thing 3 times
token,
and have it all go to that. Okay.
This is good. This might be surprisingly good. I mean, the 3 mana is a lot for the repeatable effect, but
And Ryan's point in chat, it does chew up trample. So again, if blocking is not good for you, you can just pay 3 and say whatever.
Yeah. I like it.
I do like your Brash Taunter tech though. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Brash Taunter. Okay, cool. I like this one.
All right. I have this card and I don't know why I have it. It's Lava Runner, 1 double red for a creature lizard. It's got haste. When it becomes the target of a spell or ability, that ability's controller or spell's controller sacrifices a land. I don't like.
So just don't target it, I guess.
Yeah.
Moral of the story: don't target.
I remember. Thing. Okay, so I remember why I had this card. When I first started playing, one of my friends had a Drana 1.0 deck, and it was just like Doomblade Tribal. So I decided, like, you know what? I'm gonna make sure you can't do it. So I bought this Lava Runner. It's not a good card unless you're playing like Lizard striped thing tribal. I probably skip it.
Yeah, you would have to have like a ton of anthems on the board, because you can't target it with any abilities or equipment or anything.
You can.
Well, you can, but you have to sacrifice a land.
Lord Windgrace does not want this.
Lord Windgrace this, Lord Windgrace that.
Yeah, you know.
This is not a good card.
No, not at all.
Thrashing Wumpus, 3 black for a 3/3 beast. Pay a black. It deals 1 damage to each creature and each player. It's Pestilence on a stick.
Yeah.
Which is good. Probably not as good as Pestilence, but it's a good maybe backup effect.
So I'm going to argue that this is actually better than Pestilence.
Okay.
For a couple of reasons.
Yep, let's hear it.
So Pestilence's clause is if there are no creatures on the battlefield, it goes away.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It does have that.
So for Wumpus, you can always pay 2 into it on everybody's turn, and you're going to consistently do that damage. You can also reanimate it easier. You can tutor for it easier. You can copy it easier if you really want to. I don't know why you would, but the option is there. So I would argue this is a little bit better. It's easier to destroy, but also way easier to abuse.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just thinking it's unfortunate there's no black dinosaurs with Enrage.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
On that. Yeah, I mean, I guess the drawback to this being a creature is that, I mean, with Pestilence you can go and go until there's no creatures left, but with this, you can only pump 3 into it and then it dies.
I guess you could just do it all at once, right? As long as the
yeah, I guess as long as you just put them all on the stack.
Yeah.
And they would all go off. No,
I like it. For less than 50 cents, I would pick this up.
Sure. All right, there's another Ramos.
All right.
Oh, look at this art. Oh my god. What is going on with this art?
Let me tell you about Bifurcate. It's a 3 and a green for a sorcery. Search your library for a copy of target creature card in play, and put that card into play, then shuffle your library. So, Andy, I don't know if you were around before Primetime was banned.
No. I was not born.
In my college meta, people were playing this to get their Primetimes. That's how busted that card was. So nowadays, you would probably use this for Persistent Petitioners, Relentless Rats, Rat Colony, and that's pretty much it. It's got very narrow applications, but it does what you want it to do.
There are cards that like get multiple copies of something on the board, though, aren't there? Because I built a Rat Colony deck a long time ago. I remember there was a card that could go and grab cards that you already control. Anyway, we're very unlikely to play this in budget EDH, so
there's one more thing. That card combos with Spy Kit.
Okay.
So if you have Spy Kit attached to a creature, you target that creature and you can tutor up any non-legendary creature in your deck and just throw it into play for 4. So that's something.
Yeah, I mean, for 4 mana, that's not bad.
Oh, yep. Looks like Lenny just had Spy Kit too. Sweet.
What does Spy Kit go for these days? It's kind of expensive, isn't it?
It is 1/4.
Oh, well, I'm wrong. Yeah, play
Take
this
up
with
those
Spy
spy
Kit.
kits. Start specking.
I don't know finance. All right. 2 in a red. Bloodhound. It's a 1/1. It's probably a dog now. Whenever you're dealt damage, you may put that many +1/+1 counters on Bloodhound. At the end of your turn, remove all +1/+1 counters from Bloodhound. This is pretty cool.
It's so bad.
It's no. Okay, so there's a card in Zendikar Rising that says at the end of turn, you make a creature, 1/1 creature token for each +1/+1 counter you put on creatures you controlled that turn. The heck was that card?
Ooh, Ryan says the Ozolith is also good.
Yeah, Ozolith.
I know what card you're talking about. That's not the one I thought you were going to say, though. I thought you were going to talk about Roiling Vortex.
Roiling Vortex. I wouldn't say that because I don't know what it is.
So any cards that it's like that, not Furnace of Wrath, but Molten Vortex, anything that like pokes everybody on their upkeep, it makes it a little bit bigger. So that's a way to pump it.
Okay.
Oh, Ryan says Ozolith doesn't work anymore because the creature has to die, which is true. I don't think it's good. Even if it's a dog, I wouldn't play it in Ren and Stimpy.
Okay, I'm trying to come up with what the card I was thinking of. Iridescent Horn Beetle. Let's look at that.
Horn Beetle. Iridescent Lightus.
Okay. So at the beginning of your end step, create a 1/1 green insect creature token for each +1/+1 counter you've put on creatures under your control this turn. That's pretty good with this, I think.
Yeah, other than that, I wouldn't play this card. Not all dogs are good dogs.
Not all dogs go to heaven. All right.
No, that's right. Especially that one. Hey, all right. I'm glad I got this one.
We got a legend here.
All right. So we have Chomano Revolutionary. 2 double white for a creature, human rebel legend. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to Chomano. So as a commander, there are some pretty cool things you can do with Chomano. If you put Pariah on Chomano, you can't take damage at all.
Yep.
Which is pretty sweet. And you can just kind of like go to town. It's pretty good in decks that just want to keep doing damage to everything. If you're playing the Thrashing Wumpus, or if you're playing any like Pyrohemia effects, Blasphemous Act or whatnot, it lives. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
If you can get it to block everything with some sort of enchantment, you still don't take damage.
It's good with that Regalia card that we were just looking at, where you can.
Hey, there you go.
That's good.
Yeah, if you're looking for like fun budget mono white commanders, this is sweet.
This isn't bad. There's lots of ways to have fun with this, I think.
Whose Chomano you is? Thanks, Aaron. Chomano is the Mano.
All right. All right. Spiritual Focus. 1 and a white for an enchantment. Whenever a spell or an ability you control, an opponent controls, causes you to discard a card, you gain 2 life and you may draw a card. Discard just doesn't happen that much in EDH. Would you agree?
I disagree.
You disagree?
Mostly because, so I know Jumpstart hasn't had that much of an impact yet just because of limited print run. But we got the Tiny Bones, but I wouldn't be looking specifically as like the discard thing. You should be looking at it as whenever a spell and ability an opponent controls causes you to wheel your hand, you come up ahead. A lot ahead. So if you have 7 in hand and they make you wheel, you draw 14 and gain like 14 life. That's pretty sick.
Yeah. But you're not going to be...
I think this one's a meta call.
Yeah, it's totally a meta call. I mean, you're not going to be playing against wheels in every pod.
That's true. But if you've got a Zyrus or a or a Niv Mizzet or whatever in your meta, and you're playing white, you might want to consider this as a meta call.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't think it's bad.
It's hard to give it a slot though. I have a hard time giving a slot to cards that are only good like in, particular situations.
Take out a land, you're not going to be playing it anyway, right? You'll be discarding it.
Yep. You're absolutely right. All right.
Brawl. So we not the format. So 3 double red for an instant. Until end of turn, all creatures gain tap. This creature deals damage equal to its power to target creature.
I love it.
Because you want this with Brash Haunter.
I love this card. This card's amazing.
Being an instant makes it interesting.
This is like instant battle royale. Like everybody's like, I'm just gonna go ahead and tap this to deal damage. Oh yeah, well I'm gonna tap this to deal damage to yours. Oh, but wait, I'm gonna tap mine to deal damage to yours. Oh yeah, buddy. It could be really fun.
Yeah, so imagine playing this card when you have what is it? What's that red enchantment that whenever a creature's dealt damage, deals that much damage to his controller? Repercussion.
Yeah.
You can just like put your finger on the red button, on the nuke button, and say, "All right, don't do it." So yeah, I think it could be fun.
Yeah, and like you said, just have all your creatures deal their damage to Brash Taunter.
All right. So should we talk about the correct way to play this card?
Okay, what's the correct way to play this card?
On the opponent's attack, they are attacking you. If they don't have vigilance, all of their creatures are tapped.
Sure.
Which gives you the opportunity to then tap your creatures to beat down theirs before they get a chance to come in. Now that doesn't, take into account anybody else's creatures, but it's something. That's probably where you want to play this.
Yeah, if you're running big creatures yourself, yeah, that'd be a good scenario too. I like it.
Also with Death Touch, it's not bad.
Certainly.
You always get to kill their stuff.
Yeah.
Assuming they don't try to punch you afterward.
Right.
The card's silly. I think it's fun.
What is the card that whenever somebody activates an ability that it deals damage to them? What am I thinking of?
The Viashino?
Yeah.
From one of the Ravnica sets. Immolation
Shaman, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. Let's look at that.
What about that green dinosaur?
Okay, so we'll get there. Whenever an opponent activates an ability of an artifact, creature, or a land that isn't a mana ability, deals 1 damage to that player. So they're going to take 1 damage for each creature they do. So that's not great. All right, what were you thinking of?
Runic Armosaur.
Oh yeah, so you get to draw.
Yeah.
So you get to draw for each creature they tap for this. Nice. That's good tech right there. I like that.
I've come around to this card. I like it.
It's fun. And the art is really stupid.
The card can't even participate being a pacifist. It's like, I don't know what to do.
Karn. It's not a good drawing of Karn at all. It looks like, I don't know.
That's the most recent one, right? From Double Masters.
Oh yeah. The one where he's like, oh. All right. Who's reading this one? Is this me or you?
That's you.
Okay. Ooh, that's a big cost. Cataran Overlord. 4 black for a 7/5 mercenary. It has sacrifice a creature, regenerate it. Pay 6 and tap it, search your library for a mercenary card with converted mana cost 6 or less. Alright, so people aren't really playing mercenary in EDH these days, so I guess it's just a free sack outlet, except it costs a lot of mana to get on the board.
Yeah. It's pretty big. If you're doing everything tribal, this is a 6-mana tutor for anything that costs 6 or less. So that's something. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't play it.
Okay.
Oh, great. Embargo, 3 and a blue for an enchantment. Non-land permanents don't untap during their controller's untap step. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 2 life. No. Just no. I don't like stacks cards personally.
This is a jerk card.
I actually do find them fun to play around. So, like, if somebody wants to come to my table and say, hey, I'm playing stacks, is that fine? I'll say, cool, let's go. Like, because I want to beat it. But I personally will not play these cards.
Yeah. The game's gonna go forever. And nobody wants that.
Chris loves it.
Okay, sorry. Chris wants that.
But yeah, I don't... You know what? Where would you want to play that? Besides other stacks? Derevi, you probably want to play this.
No, I don't.
Or anything Vigilance heavy. That also includes blue.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what's going on in the background either.
It's like a truck.
Is it a tornado?
It's a truck is on fire or something? Or is that like an upside down mountain? I don't know. Alright, let's move on. Oh my goodness, a 6-mana artifact. Horn of Plenty. Whenever a player plays a spell, he or she may pay 1. If that player does, he or she draws a card at end of turn. Okay, well, I mean, group hug decks might like this.
A white decks, I'm telling you.
No, it's just too much. Whenever you play a spell, pay 1 and then you can draw a card, but everybody can do it. I guess in decks where you want your opponents to draw cards, like Xyrus, they'd be like, hey, you could draw a card. I get a
snake.
I get a danger noodle, but nah. 6 mana is just
that is definitely a budget Mind's Eye. It doesn't do like the same thing, but you're still like paying 1 to draw 1 later. The only bad thing is it's not immediate. I guess if you're playing like a flash deck, like, would you play this in blue-black rogues? Probably not, but I mean, you could.
6 mana.
Play with Vernal Equinox.
All right.
Notorious Assassin. You know this one?
No.
I guess you're not in trouble. All right. 3 and a black for a creature, human spell shaper. Not even an assassin. 2 and a black, tap it, discard a card, destroy target non-black creature. It can't be regenerated. So if you want terror on a stick, this is your card. That's it. That's all I got for it. It's
yeah.
If it didn't cost 4,
there are cards that do this better though, right? Aren't there cards that just like tap and destroy a creature?
Yeah, I mean, there's like Ravenous Chupacabra, which is actually way cheaper than this. Same mana cost. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to wait.
But that's just an ETB. That's not redeemable.
Yeah. No. There's Royal Assassin.
Yeah, that's probably Royal Assassin is what I'm thinking of.
It's like I do like Spell Shapers, but this is not one of the good ones.
Yeah, I mean, unless you want to discard cards, I wouldn't play this.
Yeah, if you're running Crossbow Tribal, check it out.
Okay, Squeeze. 3 and a blue for enchantments. Sorcery spells cost 3 more to play. Moving on.
Is it worth the squeeze, Andy?
No, it's not. That's not a good card. I don't like. Yeah, I'm sure it'll like really mess up somebody. But not worth the slot in any deck.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So we got this Aerial Caravan. 4 and 2 blue for a creature. I think it's a human soldier. I'm assuming it's the person and not the goose. It's a goose. I don't know.
You
Or a
assume
seagull.
wrong.
It's a giant seagull.
It's a goose soldier.
That's right. Flying, and it's got 1 double blue, and you don't tap it. X on the top card of your library. Until end of turn, you may play that card. That's not bad. If you needed like a mana sink on the cheap, you could do way worse than this. What do you think? Because you can play lands off it too.
That till end of turn, you play the card. I mean, I guess costs 6, but it's got a pretty decent body on it, and it flies. So it can still get in there for damage too.
Yeah.
The activation cost is a little bit much. I mean, I guess blue has so many ways of just drawing cards that I'm not sure that this effect is worth it.
Yeah, this is more of a red effect nowadays.
Yeah, this is definitely a red. This definitely went to red's color pie because blue doesn't need it.
Yeah. Play it in your Ineos deck. Or don't.
Unless you want to play cards that get benefits from not being played from your hand.
Like
what's the name of the card? See the something.
Oh yeah. See the unwritten.
See the truth.
See the truth.
Yep.
The truth is this card's not that great. Let's be honest.
It's not. It's not.
I might play it.
So I think we're seeing as we go lower and lower in the prices, the cards are definitely getting worse and worse.
Maybe.
This one is definitely no exception. Armistice. 2 and a white for an enchantment. 3 white activation. You draw a card and target opponent gains 3 life. That's ridiculous. 3 white. That's too much.
What if you're playing Tainted Remedy?
If you're playing Tainted Remedy, this is still too much. There are better ways of making an opponent gain life than 3 white.
One thing I could see for this is if you really need to reset like who the dethroned person's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
This is a way to do it. As bad as it is, you could do it.
I suppose. It's not good.
No.
All right.
Assembly Hall, another 5 mana artifact.
This set, it's so many.
Look at this art though. That art is sick.
Yeah, the art's good. The art's really good. Like, what's going on in that house?
So, 4 and tap it. Reveal a creature card in your hand. Search your library for a card with the same name as that card. Reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle your library. Same thing with Bifurcate. You're going to want to play it in Rats, Petitioners, what have you. Really I personally wouldn't play it in either of those decks because it's way too expensive.
9 mana gets you 1.
Yeah.
9 mana to get just 1. Not worth it. Bargaining Table. 5. Ah, my God! Another 5 mana artifact. Why did they do that in this set? It's crazy. Pay X, draw a card. X is the number of cards in an opponent's hand. There are better cards that can draw you a card for smaller. What I'm trying to say is this isn't good. I don't know. What do you think?
If your opponent is playing Heckbent, Rakdos, or not Rakdos, Malfagor, I guess you draw a card for free.
That's one.
The thing is, you can draw a card
meta
for free.
Play, though.
Yeah, there are situations where you can literally tap it to draw a card.
Yeah.
So, is it good? No, but it's not good. This one's also not good, but I like it. Battle Squadron, 3 red for a creature. It's actually a goblin. It's not a ship.
Oh, they errated this.
But
I was
that
looking
art
at
is
this. I'm
sick.
like, creature type ship. It's the first vehicle.
Yeah. Flying, power, and toughness equal the number of creatures you control. If you're running a token deck, if you're running a goblin deck and you need a flyer, a big old flyer, why not run this? It's cool.
Power and toughness each equal to the number of creatures you control. I mean, it's got flying on it, so it's got evasion. It's better than that Lord creature we were looking at, which had like nothing on it. I mean, if you had a ton of creatures in this giant flyer, that's actually not bad.
There's also no additional cost to cast.
Yeah. This is true.
Something to consider.
Yeah,
I guess.
if you're playing a go wide and you want like a big old finisher creature, it's not too infrequent that you're gonna have an opponent that can't block flyers.
Yeah.
Yeah, for 5 mana, it's pretty good.
Also, the creature type ship is just awesome.
I agree. I'm sad they errated this one. That's not fun.
I'd ship it.
You oh god. All right. Blood Oath. Look at this. Look at their arms.
Are they grabbing each other's like elbow? Can you?
It looks like it's some sort of weird handshake, except they're like reaching up to their elbows, and like this isn't good art, by the way, because like their hands are like bigger than their heads. This is really weird art. I don't think you did a good job on this, Mike Plug, wherever you are. Blood Oath for 3 and a red. For an instant, choose a card type. Target opponent reveals his or her hand. Blood Oath deals 3 damage to that player for each card of the chosen type revealed this way. I mean, if somebody just rifted and you know what they have in their hands, or if you're running telepathy,
okay,
this could be decent. Or if you just played whatever that blue spell is that returns all lands to their owner's hand.
Oh no, Sunder.
Yeah, you just played Sunder and then played this.
Boo.
Nobody plays Sunder except jerks.
Except Chris.
Chris, you play Sunder? Ugh.
So, if you have Rook Thar in your meta, play this card. Choose creatures, and you might take 6, but you're gonna blow them out of the water. They're gonna take 21 if they have a full grip, and they're all creatures. But still, like it can do a lot of damage.
It can. It can also do none.
That is true.
Yeah, you're gonna wanna. You're only gonna wanna play this if you know what's in people's hands, which isn't impossible.
No.
I mean, there's a lot of cards that make people reveal somebody's hand, but yeah.
Also, cause people get greedy, right? Like if they want to play, Enter the Infinite or that new card from Zendikar Rising, Secret Restoration, and they're going to have like 20, 30 cards in hand. You could just spin the wheel and see what you get.
Mm-hmm. It's all right. It could be a blowout. It could be nothing.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Check out this Katerin Slaver. Plays a lot of Catan. 4 and 2 black for a creature mercenary wildebeest or something. I don't know. 5 and tap. Search your library for a mercenary card, CMC 5 or less. Put it into play. Shuffle your library. I wouldn't play it.
No.
It's too restrictive.
I just look over all of these cards that say search for a mercenary because.
Oh, you got a Spell Shaper. All right, enjoy that one.
Do you want to read it?
You know what? I will.
Okay, go ahead.
The Show a Rim Alchemist. 1 white for a human Spell Shaper. Pay 1, double white, discard a card from your hand. The next time a source of your choice will deal damage to you this turn, prevent it and instead gain that much life. This card is sweet. For 1 mana.
In some situations, that could be really, really good.
So if you wanted to Earthquake for a lot, because Earthquake also hits you, you can still do this. It doesn't prevent all the damage from Earthquake, it just prevents it to you.
Yeah, that's decent.
And also, just, like, people can't really attack you with their big old creature profitably. Like, Voltron players hate this because what are they supposed to do?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they have to kill it, otherwise you're gonna not take any commander damage, and you're gonna gain life, so they're not gonna be able to kill you.
Yeah, because it doesn't target the source, so even if the source has hexproof or something, you can still choose that as your source.
Yeah.
So that's good. Yeah. No, this isn't bad. Cho RM Bruiser. 5 and a white for a 3/4 rebel. Whenever it attacks, you may tap up to 2 target creatures. Okay.
6.
For 6 mana?
If it wasn't 6, I would consider it.
What would you consider it for?
I would consider this 4.
Yeah. Like 4. Like if I was drafting it and this was 4, I would take it.
Yeah, only because if you're playing in a budget meta, right? Again, it's still creature heavy. Getting through for any sort of damage, especially in white, like you're gonna need all the help you can get. 6 is probably too much in a non-budget meta, so I probably wouldn't play it there. But yeah, I probably wouldn't play it as it stands right now. The art's not even that good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he's supposed to be.
I don't know. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready for this?
Cause? You can read this one because I took 2.
Okay. Common Cause. 2 and a white for an enchantment. Non-artifact creatures get +2/+2 as long as they all share a color.
Nice. That is not bad.
Can you explain to me how this is not bad?
So if you are the only token player in your meta, let's say you're playing Reefs the Redeemed, and you have 51 elves. Now you have 53 elves.
As long as they all share a color with each creature on the board.
Oh, wait a minute.
It's all creatures.
Oh, I thought it was of the greatest number. Oh, ugh.
Non-artifact creatures get +2/+2 as long as they all share a color.
Ew.
Every creature.
Oh. Okay. I don't like this card anymore. Reading is fundamental.
I feel like this is one of the most unplayable cards ever. Because you have to count on everybody having creatures with the same color for it to do anything. And then it's also pumping your opponent's creatures. What is this card supposed to be good at? What would you do with this? Okay. Let's just do... Let's think about this for a second. You want
to go to Card Kingdom, or you want to go to
EDH?
I want
to... This is just a thought experiment. Okay.
A booster box is $900.
Okay, so you buy a booster pack of Mercadian Masques for
it's got the robe.
$25. Imagine you thought, I'm going to splurge and buy myself something nice. I'm going to get a pack of Mercadian Masques. It must be good because it's $25. And this this is what you open as your rare. How would you feel?
I would feel like a non-artifact creature.
This card
Or
is...
no, I feel like an artifact creature because it's
This card
I
is
feel like
the
I'd be
worst.
missing out.
My God, we still have 2 pages left. We've been at this for 2 hours and we still have a ton left.
That's all right.
Okay.
Quartered Market, 2 and a white for enchantment. Players can't play spells or non-basic land cards with the same name as a card in play. If you want to lock people out of the game with Spy Kit, this is how you do it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is just another card is like, well, it's good with Spy Kit.
Now, they can still play
not good.
legendary creatures, so it doesn't completely lock them out. They can still play basic lands and non-basic lands as long as nothing shares a name with it. So they're not completely locked out, but it's pretty much a soft lock.
I mean, you play a Soul Ring, nobody else can play a Soul Ring.
Yeah, that's right.
Still not good. Corrupt Official, 4 and a black for a 3/1 minion. 2 and a black, regenerate Corrupt Official. Whenever Corrupt Official becomes blocked, defending player discards a card at random from his or her hand. The regenerate cost is too high.
Yeah. Oh, it costs 5? Ugh. No, not for a 3/1.
Okay.
All right. Oh, I know Craig. Craig Sarion. Triple red for a 4/4 lizard.
Craig?
Yeah, Craig. My buddy Craig with his
from
thumb
accounting?
piercing. Whatever source deals damage to it, that source's controller gains control of it. Maybe you want it for that new color shifted Zedger thing? I don't know.
Whenever is dealt damage, the controller that damages source gain control. I don't know.
Septum piercing tribal.
Alright. Deepwood Elder. Hey, it's a spell shaper.
Hey.
Green for 2/2 spell shaper. Pay X green. Tap it. Discard a card. X target lands become forests until end of turn. Most of your lands are probably already forests. What's the point of this?
I think it's to, on your opponent's upkeep, if they're not playing green, you just, like, color hack them. Like, no, it doesn't say in addition to forest. They're just forest. If you're playing mono red or whatever, you're screwed.
Oh, I suppose you could do other people's lands.
That art is wild, though.
I guess, I wasn't even thinking that. I guess it does hose, like, lands with activated abilities.
That's true.
So, like an Inkmoth Nexus, it's not an Inkmoth Nexus anymore, it's just a forest.
Non-basic land hate's probably the best thing for this, right?
Because it doesn't say, like, it becomes a forest in addition, right? It just makes
it
just
becomes a forest.
So it
hits coffers, hits Nykthos. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris says the cost seems steep. But I mean, if you're just trying to, like, negate one land, it's actually not bad. It deals with Maze of Ith.
That's true.
It's not bad. I was thinking this is really bad until you pointed out that you can do other people's lands too.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Not bad.
All right. Oh, man. Okay. It's...
What is it called?
Erithazon. It's 2 and double green for a beast. That thing's a beast. Look at that thing.
Yeah.
I can't tell if it's being stabbed or it's having stuff taken out of its back.
Yoink.
Yeah. Whenever it attacks, put a 1/1 counter on target creature of defending player's choice. So it seems bad, but this would be a card you can kind of trick people into using to your benefit if you're playing the new Volrath.
Yeah, because, yeah, I suppose.
If you're playing red-black, you can use Kolrath Knight, so you make sure that you just take out one of their creatures entirely. You can't attack or block anymore because it has a counter on it. If you're playing Generous Patron, you draw a card. it has its uses. There are not very many uses, but they are available.
Okay. Extortion. 3 black for a sorcery. Look at target player's hand and choose up to 2 cards from it. That player discards those cards. That's not worth 5 mana.
What is that card? How many hands does this thing have?
How many arms does it have? It looks like it has 4 arms. I don't know what it is.
Is this like the precursor to the Ulamog Eldrazi?
Don't know. I don't know. Do you think this is worth it? It's not. It's because it's not. They just discard 2 cards. It's you look at their hand and pick the 2 cards. So I mean, if you just like sent a bunch of stuff back to their hand, or they just tutored for something, it could be good.
Yeah, I think best case scenario is they just tutored for something, didn't play it, and you yoink it and something else. Otherwise, yeah, I think it's as high as it goes with ceiling.
Yeah, it's just too much.
Yeah. All right, the Extravagant Spirit. It's a 3 and a blue for a 4/4 Spirit. Those stats are really good for what that costs.
Okay, those are good stats, but let's see. Does it have a drawback?
No. Yeah, it does.
Yes, it does.
On your upkeep, sacrifice unless you pay 1 for each card in your hand. If you're playing Heckbent, it's 4/4 for 4.
You're not playing Heckbent in blue.
I mean, you're right.
All right. 3 red, Flailing Manticore.
That thing has human teeth. I don't like this art. Why does it have human teeth?
We get a 3/3 monster with flying and first strike. Pay 1. It gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Any player may play this ability. Pay 1. It gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Any player may play this ability.
Creature type monster. That's cool.
Yeah, but like somebody could just pay 3 and kill it.
Yeah, it's
but
bad.
you have to have enough mana to negate it.
Yeah.
The only thing I would like, at first it made me think of like the Capricopian creature where it attacks and then the person being attacked can pay like 3 mana to make it attack somebody else instead, and then they just like they can go back and forth. I'm thinking like you could get into that kind of situation with this where like it's attacking somebody and somebody else says, well, I want it to be bigger, I'm gonna put a couple mana into it, you know, and then just kind of gets like into like a bidding war almost. But it's not good.
No. This card is actually playable though. Foster 2 and 2 green for an enchantment. Whenever a creature you control dies, you may pay 1. If you do, reveal from the top until you reveal a creature card. Put it in your hand and the rest into your graveyard. So even without any sort of top deck manipulation, all of your dying creatures get you another creature, which is for 1, which is sweet. If you do have top deck manipulation, like with my other green commander, Huatuo, you can kind of select what you want. You can actually get the same creature back if you really want.
Yeah, I mean, this seems like it has a lot of uses. It's going to be really good in decks that want to have a lot of cards in the graveyard too, which there's plenty of those. It seems like a good card.
So, and here's how I'm thinking how you break this card, right?
Yeah.
You have 2 or 3 creatures in your deck, like kind of like a polymorph deck where you really want like 1 creature. If you're playing like a token strategy. So whenever one of your tokens dies, you pay the 1, and you mill a bunch until you get whatever you want, and you put it in your hand.
Yeah, that's decent. There's plenty of ways to make that kind of busted. Alright, I'm gonna keep moving here. Alright, Game Preserve. 2 and a green for an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player reveals a top card of his or her library. If all cards revealed this way are creature cards, put those cards into play under their owner's control. This sucks.
It's kind of hard to do, right? I mean, if you're playing
it's almost
bigger
never
creatures than everybody else, it might be fine, but It's too hard to do.
You're just not guaranteed that you're going to be able to have it go off. And even if it does, like, everybody gets their creatures.
Mm-hmm.
So what's... that doesn't seem good.
Yeah, this one's sweet. Instigator. 1 and a black for a human spell shaper. 1 double black, tap, discard a card from your hand. Creatures target player controls attack this turn if able. You can activate this at instant speed, which is really sweet because you can just mess with somebody's board.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess my only thinking is that you can do this for cheaper with like Biden's Thassa's Bident.
Yeah.
Is a lot cheaper. That's just like, isn't it?
Yeah, well, this used to be, like, that ability used to be, like, only in black.
Okay.
As far as I can remember. So this is, like, from Magic of a different era. I know there's, like, an imp that kind of does it. But just being able to activate it at instant speed for, like, in mono black, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I can see situations where that would be really good.
It's also got a sneaky Little Mermaid behind whatever's going on here.
What is that doing in there? Like, which
being
one?
instigated.
Okay, but which one's the spell shaper?
I feel like the mermaid was
the
the one discarded, and now it's pissed off.
All right. Karn's Touch. Is it good touch or bad touch? Blue for an instant. Target non-creature artifact becomes an artifact creature with power and toughness each equal to its converted mana cost until end of turn.
I hate it.
What's that?
I don't hate it. You can turn one of your bad 5-mana artifacts into a creature.
Yeah, I guess if you're doing Mercadian Masques deck with all the big artifacts, yep. Moving on.
Ooh, no. Oh, here we go. Kirin Archive, 3 mana. On your upkeep, you may exile the top card of your library face down. Pay 5, discard your hand, sacrifice it. Put all the exiled cards with Kirin Archive into their owner's hands. Why is it worded like that? That's weird. I don't know why it's worded like that. It says into their owner's hands when it's going to be you anyway. It's not great.
No. Not much to say about that.
Yeah.
Lithophage, 3 red for a 7/7 insect. There's gotta be some big drawback on this. Let's read it. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice it unless you sacrifice a mountain. Well, if you want to sacrifice lands, it's not bad. 7/7 for 5. Or if you want to have like just a big creature come into play and then die right away for some reason, that could be good.
Yeah. Shout out to Mike Plug for making good art this time.
Good job, Mike.
All right. Megatherium. That's not even that big. The art is freaking sweet, though. 2 and a green for a beast. 4/4 trample. When it comes into play, sacrifice unless you pay 1 for each card in your hand.
Ugh.
Heckbent Tribal.
Why do these creatures all have to have big drawbacks?
This is like the Demogorgon from Stranger Things. Look at the thing's face.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's pretty cool. I like the art. It's a bad card.
Yeah. Now, look at this. Mercadian Lift. I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going on in this card art. It looks like somebody's bedpost.
Yeah.
Is on an elevator or some, like, I don't know. It's got a winch counter. I don't know.
That's how they move in New York, I think.
On a winch?
Yeah.
On a lift. Pay 1, tap it, put a winch counter on it. Tap it, remove X winch counters from Mercadian Lift. Put a creature card with converted mana cost X from your hand into play. And it costs 2. I mean,
I
it's
would
not...
play this in Atraxa. No, I really would.
No,
so...
I don't. Yeah, I mean, a lot of things with counters can go in Atraxa. I mean, it's strictly worse than like Elvish Piper, right?
Well,
but if you're not playing green, then I guess this is okay. I mean, there's no way to like, aside from proliferate, there's no way to like pump up the number of winch counters you're putting on it, right?
Right. Well, think of it this way: in Atraxa specifically, right? It doesn't hurt your mana because it's colorless, which is great. Comes down early. With Atraxa and any sort of proliferate, you're going to either get at least 2 or 3 activations in the game if you drop it early enough, or you're going to save it all for one big activation, which could, it could make or break your game. I really like it.
Okay. I mean, the nice thing about this is that it only costs 2. It's an actually reasonably costed artifact for once.
It doesn't cost
like,
5 mana.
They're like designing this set, let's make one artifact not cost a ton. Yeah, I guess it could do stuff. It could.
All right, Midnight Ritual. We have X2 and a black sorcery. Exile X target creature cards from your graveyard. For each creature exiled this way, you get a 2/2 zombie. And there are better ways to produce zombies. If it didn't have X in the casting cost, this would be a sweet card, like as a last-ditch effort. But because you have to pay X for each creature,
You
I
gotta
don't
pay
think
one
it's that
for
great.
each. Yeah, it's not great. Overtaker. Not an Undertaker or an Undergiver, but an Overtaker. It's another spell shaper. 1 and a blue for a 1/1. Pay 3 and a blue, tap it, discard a card, untap target creature, and gain control of it until end of turn. That creature gains haste until end of turn. So that's Ray of Command on a stick right there. You gotta discard a card.
In cards that care about their blue decks that care about their graveyard and also want to take creatures, this is pretty cool.
It's decent. I don't hate it.
No.
But I probably wouldn't play it.
All right, another good green card. Pangasaur. 2 and 2 green for a big ol' lizard. It's a 6/6. Whenever a player plays a land, bounce it.
Why would you want to do this?
If you really want to maximize your Terror of the Peaks triggers, you shouldn't play this card because it's still bad.
Okay. Ramosian Sky Marshal.
Look at this art.
I'm flying!
It's like a ribbon dancer.
Alright. 3 white for a 3/3 rebel with flying. Pay 7. Tap it. Search your library for a rebel card. No. No, let's not waste any time on that.
Alright, we have the Zendikar Precursors, the Rappling Scouts. 2 and 2 white for a 1/4 rebel. It has flying, and you can pay 2 and a white, and it gains protection from the color of your choice till end of turn. It's a really expensive blocker.
I agree. Yeah, it's not. Nah.
Let's repel out of here. I don't want to see this card anymore.
All right, last page. We got looks like 10 more cards.
All right.
All right, we got another cheap artifact here. A Rishadan Pawn Shop. Pay 2. Tap it. Shuffle target card in play you control into its owner's library. This is really
I don't
good.
hate it.
This is really good. This would be good in your Kiki-Jiki deck. You steal something and then make them shuffle it into the library.
Goodness, you're
if
right.
If it's their commander, then they just got us to go to the command zone.
Oh, that is so good.
This is really good.
I love that.
I'm glad we found something good this late in the game here, because it was getting pretty, cool. This is...
You can also save your stuff from removal, which is fun.
Yeah, it does. Shuffle target card and play you control into its owner's library. So you can, get rid of stuff that you stole for a turn with threatened effects. Save something that is being targeted, that you don't want like past or swords, exiled. It's good. This is really good. There's a lot of uses
for 2 mana.
It only costs 2, and it's only 2 to activate.
Yeah,
I'm a fan. For 35 cents.
all right. Cruz agrees, so I think we found one.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. No drawbacks here.
Except for that mana cost. Triple green for a 4/4 elemental
green.
has trample.
Quintuple
upkeep,
green.
Oh, you're right.
There's 5.
At the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a 1/1 counter on it, so it gets bigger. The art is pretty interesting. I kind of like it.
Drawn by Hannibal King. That's a good name. Like, if this was printed today, it would start at like 8/8 and go up from there.
It would also have hexproof, death touch, haste,
Trample,
a chroma.
Yeah. No.
Ooh, what about this?
Sand squid. Look at that art. What is this? Is it eating somebody? Is it eating a merfolk?
I think
That's what it looks like.
It looks like the person's just standing there taking it.
It looks like it's grabbing onto a merfolk, but for some reason the squid is not in the water. Hey!
Instant devotion for gods. Okay. If you really want to subject your Nylea to removal, this is how you should do it.
Yeah, I guess I wasn't thinking of that. I mean,
Nykthos though.
Nykthos, yeah, it'd be good in my Goreclaw deck if I got Nykthos out. That's 5 extra mana I'd be getting. Good call, Max. Still not worth it. Sand squid. 3 to blue for a 2/2 boost with Island Walk. You may choose not to untap it during your untap step. Tap target creature. Tap this. Tap target creature. That creature does not untap during its controller's untap step, as long as it remains tapped. So it's not eating what it's capturing, it's just holding it?
It's that giant clam effect. Now, I can tell you it has been errata to Squid Beast.
Okay. I guess it's decent for like locking something down. Like if you want some kind of removal and you're only playing creatures, which I don't think really happens in blue, but if you just want to play a lot of creatures, this might be. Except why give it Island Walk if you know it's not going to attack?
I don't know, but so all right. Here's a rules question. If you are able to tap it, untap it, and tap it like multiple times in a turn, do you lock down all of those creatures?
Choose not to untap during your untap step. A creature does not untap during its controller's untap step, as long as it remains tapped. So they're all going to untap on their next untap.
Unless you... Well, they won't untap if you choose not to untap Sand Squid.
Right. But how are you going to activate it multiple times if you're not untapping it and tapping it?
Like Puppeteer, Fate Stitcher, stuff like that.
I don't know.
I don't think it's worth it to jump through that many hoops, but I think you can do it.
No.
All right. Sappers and Bailiff. Bailiff, whatever. 3/2 blue for a 2/2 creature merfolk. So I did write a little bit about this card when I read it. Comes into play. Exile all artifacts and enchantments in all graveyards from the game. When it leaves, they come back. So it's got like the Fiend Hunter text, but for graveyards and for artifact and enchantments. You're still not playing enough graveyard hate. If you're still watching this, you're still not doing it. I don't know if this is the one you want, but if you've got a Sharoom player in your meta, and you don't really care about, you don't want to exile your creatures from your graveyard, you just want to get rid of all the artifacts, this is something janky you could play just to catch people off guard. What do you think?
I guess I don't see the point. Like, why exile stuff from their graveyard temporarily? And it's like 3 blue for a 2/2, which is gonna just die anyways, and they're just going to get it back. It doesn't seem worth it.
Yeah, it's not that great, but it's an option.
Everything is an option, Nick.
It's true.
Security detail. 3 and a white for an enchantment. White. Put a 1/1 white soldier creature token into play. Play this ability only if you control no creatures and only once each turn.
So, what do you think?
You don't get anything except 1/1 white soldier.
Yeah.
I guess like if you just really want to run a deck with no creatures, but you want to have a blocker, you know.
When did this set come out? 99?
99, yeah.
It's been how many years, and white is still bad?
It's not this bad. I haven't seen a card this bad in a while.
Alright. Sweet. A good spell shaper. So, Seismic Mage. 3 and a red for a 1/1. You can pay 2 and a red, tap it, discard a card from your hand, blow up a land. Land destruction is kind of hard to come by in budget Magic. You kind of don't need it, though. Because nobody can afford budget, their Nykthos, their Cabal Coffers, what have you.
Yeah. But in non-budget, you know, when you're dealing with a lot of lands that could be a problem, this is a repeatable effect.
Yes. It also doesn't have a non-basic land clause.
What's that?
It does not have a non-basic land clause, which is nice.
Yeah, it's any land. Isn't that bad?
Yeah, it's very playable.
Yeah. Silent Assassin. Black for 2/1 mercenary. 3 and a black, destroy target blocking creature at end of combat.
This is sweet.
Really? Okay, tell me why you're excited about it.
Because if your opponents are killing each other, you can help. Because it doesn't care if you're attacking with Silent Assassin or what's attacking or what's blocking. It doesn't care.
Matter.
As long as something is blocking,
just kill it.
You can destroy the blocking creature.
Yeah, I guess my only problem with it is that it happens after damage. The damage would already be dealt. But maybe that's not always a problem.
Yeah.
And it's a repeatable kill effect. So this could be good in a deck where you have a lot of effects where you get to do something whenever it deals damage to an opponent. So your creatures, so you're going to punish them for not blocking, and you're going to punish them for blocking.
Okay, like Virtus and Gorm. Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's really good.
Like a ninja.
You force 2 blocks with Gorm, and then you just kill them both.
Yeah. I mean, 3 and a black is it's a lot to pay.
That's true.
But that's not bad. You don't see this kind of effect very often.
No.
Yeah, Max said lure effects. As long as you got enough mana to pump into it, it's really good. That's decent.
All right, Territorial Dispute.
you got
4 and 2 red. Enchantment. Nobody can play lands.
Oh
On your upkeep, sacrifice a land. Now, this only says players can't play lands. They can still ramp with rampant growth effects and everything else. It does not stop them. You have the Eternity Vessel way in the background, so I guess they're on Zendikar in this set.
Oh wow, you looked really hard at this card.
I'm trying to look as far past it as I can. Shout out to Mike Plug, I guess.
Mike Plug! My god, he drew this whole set. Poor guy.
Maybe. Poor guy.
Okay, see...
It's a bad card, I wouldn't play it. It does not solve the problem you think it does.
It's a mean card, too. I mean... Poor Boros player can't get lands out any other way besides playing them, you know? And then you play this on them, and it's Yeah, I don't like it. Unnatural Hunger.
This art is awesome.
He's eating his shield.
Yeah.
3 black for a creature aura. At the beginning of the upkeep of enchanted creature's controller, Unnatural Hunger deals damage to that player equal to that creature's power unless he or she sacrifices another creature. I love the effect, but not the cost. What do you think?
I same. Like it's really expensive, but like imagine putting this on somebody playing like Zergo Helm Smasher or heck even Godzilla. They're gonna be taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, put this on Zalortha. They're gonna have to sacrifice something. I mean, this, and it's pretty common to see, like in most pods, you're gonna see a big creature at some point, right? It's very rare that you're gonna have a pod with nobody playing some sort of stompy or some kind of big creature, right?
Right. So I think the ceiling on this card is you're playing against Thromok the Insatiable, and you're putting Unnatural Hunger on it, which is a flavor win, by the way. And then they go to their upkeep and they just die.
That is a total flavor win because it's insatiable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. That's decent. It costs too much though. 3 black is a lot. That's a lot to pay. Okay, we are on our last card. You want to read it?
I'm worried about it. Worry Beads, 3 mana artifact. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, they mill a card. It's simple. I don't know if it's bad. There are better cards, right? Are
there better cards?
I mean, for mill?
A few. There's a few better cards.
That's what I mean. There's like a few. How many people are playing this?
Should we check out EDH Rec?
Yeah, let's give it a go. I'm worried that a lot of people are playing this. Maybe they shouldn't be.
I doubt it if it's that low in price. 82 decks. No, nobody's playing it.
Sir Conrad makes sense.
Yeah.
It's also a 31 decks. Okay. Ooh, you can mill 2 with Brewvac. Hey.
Hey.
Worry Beads.
Yeah.
It's
a very small effect.
Where are the beads in this art, by the way?
It looks like she's holding a string. So maybe it's
just, like she's caught in that, like, what is this?
Yeah, I'm sure that's what she sounds like. Okay, that is the last rare from Mercadian Masques. I had a lot of fun doing this. Yeah,
me too. There was a lot of sweet cards that I did not even know about, so I kind of want to pick some up. Definitely Dawn Strider.
That Rishadan Port or whatever, Pawn Shop. That's a cool card.
Yeah,
that's sweet. A really cool card. Power Matrix was cool. There's some cool stuff in here. There's a lot of garbage, but we definitely found some cool things. All right, should we wrap it up?
I think so. If you want to spend $25 on a pack and open a Rishadan Pawn Shop, I would probably advise against it.
Don't do that.
No.
Don't do that. All right, well, everybody that's still here, wow, there are a few of you. That's amazing. We've been here for a while looking at these cheap rares in Mercadian Masques. Found some good stuff, found some garbage, but we had a lot of fun looking at it, and hope you did too. Hopefully maybe you found some new cards that you like. Once again, thanks everybody. Have a great night. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you soon.